Unbelievable. You're actually alive? I mean, really? It's almost like a plot twist out of some twisted soap opera. I heard the rumors about you, but I thought they were exaggerated or perhaps even fictional. I couldn't believe that someone like you, with everything that happened, would still be around. You know, it's almost comedic how you've managed to stay afloat despite everything. It's like watching a poorly scripted reality show where the protagonist just refuses to be written out. Are you seriously getting by on this country's dime? It's almost like a punchline and a cruel joke. I was genuinely scared at one point, thinking you might have stumbled upon something that you weren't supposed to see, something that would unravel everything. You know how secrets can be. They have a way of biting back when you least expect it. Who would have thought? The so-called worthless stepmother who married Dad just for his money is still kicking. It's like watching an underdog story, but without the charm.
Long time no see, Gracie. It's been ages, hasn't it? Time really flies, doesn't it? Feels like a lifetime has passed since our last encounter. I still remember the last time we met. It was filled with tension and unresolved issues. How have you been managing all these years? From the way you're talking, it seems like you're as lively as ever. I have to hand it to you for maintaining that spirit. It's almost admirable in a strange way. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I am still very much alive and kicking. And if you can believe it, I might actually be in an even better place now, thanks to all the mess you and your father created. It's almost poetic how things turned out, that sometimes chaos can lead to unexpected success. It's like the universe decided to give me a second chance, and I seized it with both hands.
Hilarious. You actually took the time to respond? No, I wasn't expecting that. I figured you'd have more important things to do, or maybe not even be around. So you really are alive. It's almost like a plot twist in a drama. Good for you. It's interesting how this country shows such kindness to the weak. Even people like you, who seem to be nothing more than brainless trash, get to live off welfare. Isn't it ironic how the system works? It's like the more you're down on your luck, the more the system seems to prop you up. It's a system that rewards dependence rather than initiative. But then again, the world has always had its fair share of ironies.
Isn't that a bit harsh? Well, it's true I've received some support from the country in the past, but I don't think it's fair to label me like that. I did what I had to do to get by. I didn't ask for sympathy or charity, I just made use of the resources available to me. The system may be flawed, but I've done my best to navigate it responsibly. It's not about taking advantage, it's about surviving and making the most of what's available.
It's people like you who are dragging this country's economy into the ground. Living comfortably on welfare without actually contributing anything. Meanwhile, honest working people are struggling with high taxes and living in poverty. You welfare recipients are nothing but a burden on this country.
You think it's fair to generalize like that? Not everyone who gets support is living a life of luxury. Many people, and myself included, use that support as a stepping stone to something greater. It's not about being a burden, it's about finding a way to thrive despite the circumstances.
Huh? What do you mean by that? What are you talking about? Don't play dumb. I know all about it. You're on welfare now, aren't you? It's quite the joke. It's almost like you're living a lie, pretending to be something you're not. Get a job at your age. This country doesn't have money to support lazy people who just want to slack off. You have no idea what it's like to work hard for something. I have seen people in much worse situations pull themselves up, so don't act like it's impossible. Seriously, what's wrong with this country? A system that's so kind to people like you while making hardworking people suffer? There is something fundamentally wrong with that.
It's frustrating, I get it. But the problem isn't just with the people on welfare, it's with the system itself. It's a broken system that needs fixing. Instead of blaming individuals, maybe we should focus on reforming the system to better support those who truly need it while ensuring it doesn't encourage dependency.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You seem to be misunderstanding something. But as for this talk about welfare, are you referring to your father?
Huh? What are you saying? You're the one on welfare, right? I heard everything about how your father got fed up with you not working and ended up abandoning you.
The story you've heard is incomplete and biased. There's more to it than what you've been told. I'm the one who got fed up with your father and initiated the divorce. In fact, I'm currently thinking of buying 4 high-rise apartment buildings. I've turned my life around and am now in a position where I can make significant investments.
What? No. I won't believe such an outrageous lie. If you're going to lie, can't you come up with something more believable? You're quite the storyteller.
It's not a lie. It's the truth, even if it sounds unbelievable. I've worked hard to get where I am today. Anyway, I don't need you to believe me at this point, so you can think whatever you like. I don't know what your beloved papa's been telling you, and I have no interest in interfering. I'll just say this, you're mistaken about me. That's all I have to say. If you choose not to believe it, that's your prerogative. But it doesn't change the facts of my situation.
Wait. Are you serious? Aren't you the one on welfare? And didn't Papa abandon you because you wouldn't work despite being healthy and now you're living on welfare?
I'm telling you that's not the case. Even if your papa was a great wealthy man, I don't want to entrust my life to others. I chose to work for myself. It's a matter of pride and self-reliance. I've built something from nothing, and I'm proud of what I've accomplished. I don't know if it's jealousy or what, but when you pushed me down and caused me to break a bone, there was indeed a time where I couldn't move. There were times when I felt deeply depressed, but I still managed to pull myself together, start a new company, and contribute to society properly. It was a tough period, but I used it as a catalyst for change.
Huh? This is different from what I heard. You're living comfortably on government money?
Sure, I received some subsidies when starting my business, but that was based on my own funds. I submitted proper business plans and started the business and received support to accelerate it. It was a strategic move to get things off the ground. Now, the business is running smoothly, and I'm paying far more in taxes than the amount of subsidies I received. I'm contributing positively to the economy, not draining it. It's a turnaround story that shows what can be achieved with determination and hard work.
What? The scale of this conversation is too big for me to follow. Wait, you're saying you own a company?
Is that where you're starting from? I'm telling you that's the case. I'd been operating on a small scale before, but now I've started a new company and it's going well. It's been a journey of growth and adaptation.
So, is it true that you own 4 high-rise apartment buildings?
Why would I tell such a useless lie? What would be the point? It's not a lie, it's a reality. I've invested wisely and managed to acquire several properties. It's a testament to my success and hard work. And as I said earlier, I don't need you to believe me, so I'm just telling you the facts. My achievements are my own, and I don't need validation from anyone.
When you say high-rise apartments, they're not that impressive, right? Tell me which high-rise apartments.
I wonder what you consider not impressive. For example, that the new high-rise apartment in front of the station is one of the properties I own. It's quite a prime location. There's also another in the heart of the city, which is known for its luxury amenities.
Wait, are you serious?
Well, that's just one example. I own several others across different areas. It's not just about owning properties, it's about creating value and contributing to the community. So I'm not as financially troubled as you might think. And I'm not living dependent on the country or a husband. I've made my own way and built a successful business from the ground up. It's been a rewarding experience, and I've gained a lot from it. I don't know what your father's been telling you, but the one who can't live without relying on the country is your father. It's clear he's struggling, especially if he's been making such claims about me. He might be projecting his own issues onto me.
Is that so? But Papa said he divorced you right away. I heard you were a worthless person who wouldn't work properly.
What are you talking about? The one who doesn't work is that man. Even when I tried to assign him work, he wouldn't do it properly. He was a drain on my resources. And when I broke a bone, he blamed me for the work not getting done. Moreover, even though you caused that fracture by harming me, he blamed me for not taking care of my health daily. It was a complete nightmare. I got fed up and divorced him. It was a decision made out of necessity, not convenience.
Huh? This is completely different from what I heard. Papa's on welfare, but I just started university. How does Papa intend to pay for it?
How should I know? Discuss that with your beloved Papa. You're the one who cut ties with me, right? I'm no longer involved in that part of your life. Besides, I've already divorced your Papa, so I have nothing to do with you guys anymore. Whatever happens to you from now on is none of my business. I'm focused on my own life and my own success. So let me say this again, don't ever get involved with me again.
I'm sure Papa has a plan. He wouldn't tell such lies. Would he?
Being on welfare means he probably doesn't have savings. And isn't earning much money, so I wonder if he has enough money for you to attend university. It's ironic how the roles have reversed. He's the one who's struggling, while I've managed to thrive despite the odds.
No way! Surely you'll help me if something happens!
What an incredible turnaround. You broke my bone, and now you're saying surely? I have absolutely no reason to take your side. It's a turn of events that even I didn't anticipate.
That's because I didn't know. An old hag like you marrying Papa at that age. I thought there was no benefit other than swindling money from Papa.
It's understandable to think that way based on what you knew, but it's more complicated than that.
I just played a little prank.
A little prank that breaks someone's bone is pretty serious. Maybe you should reflect on your actions. It wasn't just a prank, it was a severe action with long-lasting consequences. You're messed up as a person, so you might want to use this opportunity to fix that personality of yours. Self-improvement is a continuous process, and I've worked hard to better myself.
But I can't.
Well, it's none of my business, so do whatever you want.
Don't say that! If that's the case, you can marry Papa. Remarry him, then you can live happily with Papa again. Everyone's happy, isn't that great?
What happy remarriage? That man, after marrying him, his personality completely changed and it was terrible. He barely worked but complained all the time. And when he came home, he just lounged around playing with his smartphone. I was exhausted from work and the fracture, so I asked him to help with housework, but he insisted that housework is women's work and shouldn't be done by men. It was a constant battle. I had to manage everything on my own. It was a losing battle. Well, that's why I left the house early. It was clear that staying would only lead to more frustration and resentment.
I see. At first I heard that you left to be considerate of us, but it was because you'd be made to do everything if you stayed at home.
You're paying the rent with your part-time job, right? Why don't you earn and pay for your tuition, too? It's the reality of being independent. Life requires us to take responsibility for our choices and to find ways to support ourselves.
But Papa said he won't pay the rent. He said since I want to move out on my own, I should pay for it myself.
Yes, that's right. It's a harsh reality, but it's part of growing up and becoming self-reliant. You thought I was on welfare anyway, right? So isn't it good that I'm not a burden? It's a twist of fate. Well, goodbye. Life is full of unexpected turns. Sometimes it's better to move on and focus on what truly matters.
Did you really say unnecessary things to Gracie? What exactly do you mean by saying that I'm receiving welfare? This is completely outrageous. I just received a message from her and I'm absolutely shocked. I had no idea you were spreading lies about me receiving welfare.
It was quite by chance that I ran into her again and she decided to reach out to me. I honestly didn't want to be in touch with her, but here we are.
This is completely unacceptable. As a father, I still have my pride. You've completely destroyed the image she had of me as her father because of your actions.
I couldn't care less about what you think of the situation. I didn't say anything out of personal desire. She was mocking me, calling me a welfare recipient, so I simply corrected her and informed her of the truth about you.
But there's definitely a proper way to handle such situations. Why did you specifically drag me into this?
It's because she had a misunderstanding and claimed that I married you for your money. But wasn't it actually you who had that intention in the first place? You entered the marriage with the clear intention of making me take on all the household responsibilities, didn't you?
Well...
And then you just abandoned me, claiming you discarded me. The reality is, it was you who was left behind by me.
That's the truth, but...
Even if you're talking about this behind my back, you should ensure that your daughter understands not to involve herself with me regardless of the circumstances. And you should also make sure she knows not to get entangled with me in any way.
Shut up! It's none of your business.
Look at you, running away again. You put on a facade of being a strict father to your daughter while you only want to live comfortably yourself. Well, if your daughter was growing up properly and turning out well, that would be one thing. However, considering that she's developed a twisted personality like yours, there's no hope for her.
Shut up! You abandoned me! You were a useless woman who couldn't balance housework and work. And yet you have the nerve to talk to my daughter about unnecessary matters.
Oh, fine, fine. Just leave it already. This whole situation is too much of a hassle, so please don't contact me again. You handle your own affairs from now on.
And what's this about? 4 high-rise buildings, you say? I wasn't informed of that.
Oh, that. After our divorce, my business took off. I no longer had to waste any more time dealing with you. I was absolutely right to end things with you.
You didn't achieve anything significant until after we separated? So now you're living in a luxury apartment?
That's none of your concern. If you're frustrated, why don't you get out of welfare and start working for yourself? Well, I suppose that's a challenging topic for someone like you who's always glued to their smartphone and doesn't do anything productive. Or is it? Are you envious of me, the woman you once looked down upon? You used to say that a woman's job is to manage household chores and that you were gracious enough to let me work, all while trying to conceal the fact that you didn't have the financial means to support me. You're the one who wanted to work, so that's fine. You thought it was okay to marry me because I was unemployed, right? Having a free housekeeper at home must have been ideal for you. But when I decided to end our relationship, your pride got in the way of even attempting to keep me.
That's not true. I didn't need you, and that's the simple truth.
To be honest, I didn't care whether you were receiving welfare or not. But it turns out you really were. I had my suspicions, but I didn't expect it to be so accurate.
What did you say? Did you say that without knowing the full situation?
How could I know? I'm not interested in you. You were the one who lied and labeled me as a welfare recipient, so it's only fair that I retaliate, don't you think?
You actually did it?
Well, considering you lie so easily, I had a suspicion it might reflect on yourself. But I'm not surprised.
You. How dare you?
All right. If you have time to spout unnecessary nonsense and hold grudges, why not try doing something more constructive? You're only sending pointless messages like this because you're on welfare and have too much free time. At least do something beneficial for society and others. Oh, and if I borrow your daughter's words, maybe you should work at your age. That's it.
She said such things. Looking down on me?
Are you referring to me or to welfare recipients in general? If there's a legitimate reason for receiving welfare and you live modestly, it's different. But seeing recipients who don't work, eat well, sleep in comfortable places, buy good things, and live luxuriously while spewing hateful words makes me question the country's policies. So if you have the luxury to make others feel bad, then make sure you're working properly. How long do you plan to be a burden on society?
You just say whatever you want. You don't know anything about me.
Those who don't make an effort are the ones who speak like that. Acting like a tragic heroine despite knowing nothing. Those who understand effort and hardship would not speak so arrogantly.
That's enough! Never get involved with me again!
That's what I've been saying repeatedly. Every time this conversation comes up, it's the same old story. We've been through this before, and it's clear that nothing is going to change. If you continue to behave this way, it's only going to cause more problems. I've made my position clear, and I expect you to respect that. I want to move forward and not dwell on the past, so please, just let it go. I don't want to deal with any more of your nonsense or the drama it brings. It's time for both of us to focus on our own lives and stop dragging each other into unnecessary conflicts. Let's just end this here. I've already made it clear that I don't want any further contact. If you continue to reach out, it will only complicate things further. So for the sake of both of us, let's part ways and move on. I hope you understand and respect my wishes.
Wait a minute. Let's clarify everything. You're saying I lied about you being on welfare, but why should I believe anything you say? I'm still trying to understand your position. From what I heard, it seemed like you were the one who was relying on government aid. Is that not the case? Because if you really have a stable income and property, it's a huge discrepancy from what was originally conveyed. Are you really living in those high-rise apartments?
Yes, I am. After our separation, I was able to focus on building my business. Without you around, I found the freedom to really succeed. If you're genuinely surprised, maybe you should look into the full situation before making assumptions. I have worked hard to get where I am, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. So if you've heard otherwise, it's time to get the facts straight. I wasn't just sitting around, I actively sought out support to get my business off the ground. It's clear that I was right to leave the relationship considering the kind of environment I was dealing with. The past was filled with challenges, but now I'm on a path where I'm making significant contributions. That's the reality you need to face. Don't be fooled by appearances or misconceptions. Understand that there's a lot more to my story than what you may have heard. I've built something substantial, but it's not right to judge without knowing the whole picture. Focus on your own life and let me focus on mine. There's no room for miscommunications or misunderstandings. So please, let's end this chapter and move forward with clarity. Thank you for understanding. What are you doing? I just got a call from the security at the Tower Apartments. They said you were caught trying to break in and had to be restrained? Are you out of your mind?
But Papa freaked out on me. He said he's not going to pay for my university tuition anymore. What was I supposed to do? You're the only person I have left to rely on.
And that made you think the best idea was to storm the Tower Apartments? Do you even think before acting?
Well, you wouldn't answer my calls. I tried calling you over and over, and when you didn't pick up, I thought maybe if I came in person, you'd have no choice but to help me.
And you thought breaking into a place I don't even live at anymore was a good plan? Oh, you're unbelievable. Newsflash, I don't live there.
What? You're not living in the Tower Apartments? But I thought you said...
I own the apartment. I don't live there. I've been living overseas for quite a while now. So no, storming the Tower Apartments wasn't going to get you anywhere except in trouble with the residents. It's their home, not mine.
I didn't know that. I thought you were still living there.
Maybe if you thought things through instead of acting on impulse, you wouldn't end up in these messes. And for the record, do you know what time it is when you were bombarding me with calls? It was the middle of the night where I am. My phone was on Do Not Disturb. I wasn't going to answer your barrage of calls at that hour.
I didn't think about the time difference.
Even if it wasn't in the middle of the night, do you honestly think I'd pick up after everything that's happened? What exactly did you think would happen? You've done nothing but treat me like dirt. So yeah, I'm not going to answer your calls, especially since you only ever reach out when you need something.
Please, I'm begging you. You're my last hope. If you don't help me, I won't be able to go to university. Papa's already made up his mind.
I've told you before, I don't care. I'm not responsible for you, nor do I owe you anything. We're strangers now, remember? You're the one who decided to cut ties with me. You made it very clear you wanted nothing to do with me.
But I'm willing to take it all back. I take back everything I said and did. We can start over, please.
Even if you take it all back, what do I gain? Absolutely nothing. Don't forget, you're still your father's daughter, and that's a fact I can't change. I pity you because of that, but that doesn't mean I'm going to swoop in and rescue you. You thought I was weak, worthless even. You literally broke my bone once just to put me in my place, remember? Why would I help someone like that?
I was young. I didn't understand what I was doing. Please, I'm sorry. Just help me this one time.
You think your apology erases the damage? That the pain, both physical and emotional, just goes away? I don't think so. You're a grown adult now. It's time to face the consequences of your actions. You need to understand that I don't owe you anything. After what you did, I wouldn't help you even if I could.
I was wrong. I realize that now. Please, if you could just find it in your heart to forgive me and help me out of this situation.
Forgive you? Help you? After all the cruelty and abuse? You really think a few words of desperation are going to change anything? Let me be clear. You're on your own. Maybe it's time you learned what it's like to hit rock bottom. Maybe it's time for you to experience the same despair and hopelessness that you inflicted on me. Consider it karma.
Don't say that, please. I'll do anything. I've learned my lesson. I'm so scared. I don't know what to do. I can't go to university. My whole future is ruined.
Your future is ruined because of your own actions. You made these choices, and now you have to live with the consequences. You thought it was funny to hurt me, to belittle me, and now you expect me to rescue you from the mess you created. No, that's not how the world works.
But I can't. I don't know how to fix this. Papa's lost it and won't help me anymore, and I don't know where else to turn. You're my only option. Please, I am begging you.
Your father's issues are his own. I have nothing to do with his decisions anymore. You have to work this out with him, not me. I don't want to hear any more about it. If he's not willing to support you, then maybe it's time you started supporting yourself. Get a job. Pay for your own tuition if you're so desperate to go to university. That's what most people do.
I've been trying, but I can't make enough. Rent, tuition, bills, it's all too much. Please just loan me some money or let me stay at one of your apartments for a while until I get back on my feet. I promise I'll pay you back.
Loan you money? Let you stay at one of my properties? After everything, you still don't get it, do you? I am not your safety net. I don't owe you a place to stay or a handout. You've burned those bridges. You'll have to figure this out on your own, just like I had to figure out my life after all the harm you and your father caused me.
I can't believe you're saying this. I thought deep down you still cared. You were my stepmother. We were family once. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
Family? You stopped seeing me as family the moment you decided to break my bones and try to ruin my life. You and your father never treated me like family, so don't expect me to act like family now. I moved on. I built a life without you two, and I'm doing just fine. It's time you learn to stand on your own 2 feet.
Please!
It's over. This conversation is over. You made your choices, now live with them. Goodbye. Gracie's behavior spiraled out of control during the confrontation. When the police arrived to address the situation, she became aggressive and resorted to violence, which only made things worse. Her outburst led to her immediate arrest for obstructing the police in the course of their duties, a charge that carries serious consequences. The scene was chaotic, with her being forcefully taken away, leaving onlookers in shock. What followed was the rapid unraveling of her life. News of her arrest quickly reached her university, which wasted no time in responding. Given the severity of the incident, they made the decision to expel her, effectively ending her academic journey. She had hoped that her education would lead her to a brighter future, but now that future was slipping out of reach. With no degree and no financial support, she found herself in an unexpected position, struggling just to make ends meet. With no other options, Gracie was forced to take up part-time jobs to cover her basic living expenses. The dream of higher education, which had once seemed like a gateway to success, had evaporated in a matter of moments. She now spends her days working long hours in jobs that barely sustain her, far removed from the student life she had once enjoyed. Reflecting on Gracie's situation, I couldn't help but realize the truth of the saying, "What goes around comes around." The way she treated others and the reckless decisions she made finally caught up with her. It's a reminder that our daily actions, whether good or bad, eventually circle back to us. For Gracie, her behavior and choices led to her downfall, showing just how quickly life can change when we don't consider the consequences of our actions.